Plaintiff Felita Hammond started dealing drugs when she was 17 and ultimately became an addict. Felita claimed she went to prison and the defendant was her cellmate. And although the defendant claimed she's a recovering addict, she still has crackish ways. Felita is suing for 3 unpaid loans. Defendant Johanna Martin says when she was deep in her addiction, she not only prostituted, but she also set a hotel room on fire. Johanna insists Felita is suing her prematurely.
Start with you.
Even though me and Johanna are both recovering addicts, Johanna still have crackish ways.
You got crack ways too.
I started off being a drug dealer at the age of 17. I eventually started testing my own product. Unfortunately, I got addicted.
Where you all from?
LA.
What years were you selling drugs?
I started selling drugs in '89.
Cocaine?
Yes.
On the street or weight?
On the streets, small time. Johanna still have crackish ways.
You got crack ways
I
too.
started off being a drug dealer at the age of 17. I eventually started testing my own product.
Plaintiff Felita Hammond is suing her former friend, and she admits that she was a drug addict who prostituted to support her addiction.
All the cocaine came out of LA in the 80s.
Right, but I wasn't nothing but 17
They
at
were
the time when
dumping
I
it on
started.
the whole city.
Right,
I don't know how many people know
so
that
I said, let me
story.
get some of that money too.
Yeah, I don't know how many people know that story, but that's how the whole country was flooded with crack.
Exactly.
In Los Angeles, the Central American War, Congress would not authorize President Reagan to give money to the Central American troops. So instead, they sold drugs to finance, and the drugs they sold was cocaine. There was a congressional investigation about the CIA being complicit. That's what's been said. And I got friends I knew back in the 80s. Their whole thing was, let me go down to LA and just sit in the bar, wear a few gold chains, look like you sell drugs. You go sit at the bar a few days until one of them come and say, hey, you doing anything you want? I can give you 50 kilos. Pay me back in 90 days. I just want to meet your family. I'm a family man.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was the only part. But everybody paid them. But a lot of young people got rich. That's when they changed the drug laws. The drug war turned into mass incarceration. That's that whole story. It led from geopolitical. In that case, it was the war in Central America. With heroin, it has been the war in Afghanistan. Afghanistan has sold 90% of the heroin in the world since the war began there with the U.S. The soldiers were on heroin, and when they came back here, of course, like everything else, where there's a need, there's some crooks who are gonna provide it. All right, that's enough preaching about that, but I can't let you come in here and tell me you sold cocaine and not you put it in context.
I eventually started getting high off my own supply, and it ended up taking me to some really dark places. Stealing, deceiving, going to the pawn shop barefoot, pawning my TV. That's when I knew I was addicted.
Did you ever meet any of those guys I'm referring to?
Who?
Rick Ross and all those guys?
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the main ones. He got super rich. And he said that's how they approached him.
Wow.
Sitting in the bar. And he's not the Rick Ross, the musician.
No,
I'm
the
talking about
LA
real
Rick
guy.
Ross.
Yeah, he got super rich. Well, let's move away from that. But
Okay.
I just
Let's
wanted
move
folks
away
to
from
know
that.
how I get my information.
Right.
It isn't just something I'm always reading about or dreaming up.
But anybody
I
that's
know
in
a
the
lot of
game
these
basically
folks.
know each other. So eventually I ended up going to prison. My first prison term, I ended up meeting Johanna. We was roommates, bunkies. Eventually I got moved out the room because I had a physical
Because you got to fight. Because
Yeah.
you in there fighting.
So I got moved out
No,
the
you're
room.
fighting about.
We have
Tell them what you were fighting about.
it's 8 women to a room. And we all have a cleaning day. So it's like a lifer up in there that portrays to be like a man. And she's gang affiliated. And, you know, because she has a life sentence, she thinks she just run the entire room,
Well,
basically
you just
half
had
of
a
the
big mouth
prison.
anyway, so you just wanted to fight anyway.
So
You got a big
anyway, I'm cleaning up the room and it's metals and bricks. So the broom keep hitting the metal. She get up out her sleep. You hit that metal one. What? Hit the metal one more time. What's she gonna do to me? Of course, I hit the metal one more time. Joanna was a witness, so when she got up, eventually we got into a physical altercation. She told me after the fact, I wasn't gonna do nothing to you. We in prison. You're doing life. You gonna walk up on me? No, you're not walking up on me. But that happened. I got moved away. Eventually, I got out.
Bed, wouldn't been no fight.
How was your experience? You give me some background on yourself.
Oh, my experience?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I didn't sell drugs like she did.
She just smoked them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used drugs and I prostitute.
Starting when?
In the 80s. 85, 85.
Yep.
Yeah, so I got into the drugs, prostitution, and I had a motel room. They wanted to put me out the room, so when they put me out the room, I set the room on fire, you know, because my name is JoJo. You're not gonna just do me no any kind of way. You know, put me up out of a motel room, and I done paid my money.
You burn it down.
Yeah, I burnt it.
That's what she did.
Won't be nobody there after you leave.
No, well, nobody gonna be up in there after I leave. So I went to prison, and that's where I met Fifi, we call her. Not Felita, we call her Fifi, and everybody called me JoJo.
Fifi is my alter ego. I'm Felita.
So we didn't see each other no more until 2007. I seen her over by Southwest College here, and I said, hey, ain't your name Felita? And so we got back in touch with each other. And so we eventually started hanging out at the casino with each other.
No, we learned that we both had something in common, because when you stop using drugs, because I got 18 years clean, I was in college being a chemical dependency counselor. So that's when I seen her. So I'm a certified drug and alcohol counselor.
Good.
And I don't use anything.
Good.
So we figured out we had something in common, because when you leave drugs alone,
slot
you
machine.
pick up other habits. So we like to gamble, but she gambles.
You do too?
I
You
love
like
to gamble, don't get me wrong. I was at the casino all night long. Thank you, Chicago, because they was good to me. Without her, wanting to borrow some money. See, because that's why we here now. My first prison term, I ended up meeting Johanna. We was roommates, bunkies. Eventually, I got moved out the room because I had a physical
you got to fight. Because
Yeah.
you in there fighting.
So I got moved out the
What are you
room.
fighting about?
Plaintiff Felita Hammond is suing her former friend, and she admits that she was a drug addict who prostituted to support her addiction.
Tell me about the loans.
You
What
here because
happened
your sister wouldn't let you have no money from her.
But I knew you owed me.
Okay,
But I
well,
knew
you called
owed
me, and that's
So
when
that
you
was money
called
in
me.
the bag, right?
That's when you
That
called
was
me.
money in the bag. My sister wouldn't give me nothing, but guess what? JoJo owed me.
Okay,
Get
so
my money from
check it
JoJo.
out.
But it's funny. When you loan it to them, oh, they got a smile on their face. But when you ask them for it back, looking like a pet bull.
Yeah. Like
That's
you're
what you
doing
get.
something to her.
That's what you
Like
get.
you've done her wrong.
That
She
part
has
right
done me wrong.
there.
Look at you. You do me wrong. You know,
Okay.
she-
How she do you wrong?
Ask-
Maybe she didn't loan it
ask
to
it.
you. Okay.
Okay, well, she lent
look,
me the money.
Judge
She
John.
did loan it to
Yeah,
you?
she lent me the
Judge
money.
How is she
Mathis.
doing you wrong?
Thank you.
Because she wanted back when her sister wouldn't let her have no money.
She can get it. She's
My sister and her are two different people. They're two different people. My sister ain't giving up no money, but Johanna gives up money. But guess what? You owe me. What's the problem? I can't ask you. Oh, I forgot. When
That
she
was a
loaned me,
piece of
she
work.
never asked me, because I gives it back.
Where y'all come from? Imperial Gardens?
No, I never
Jordan
stayed in the
Down.
project.
Jordan Down?
I never
from the
stayed in the
That's where the
projects.
whispers have come from.
I came from the Jordan Down.
I did some volunteering over at the Imperial Gardens. That's a real tough housing projects. And is that Compton or Watts? That's Compton.
That's
isn't it?
Watts.
Watts, yeah.
What's up?
Tough place. I helped over at the community center there. Me and my son Amir. Amir took me over there to volunteer to help the young men there. So hats off to Amir. You should have taken me to Jordan Downs. You gonna take me to Jordan Downs?
You gotta say,
don't
what's
go there,
up?
You don't go over there? You can't go
I don't
back
get-
over there?
She got a bad rep. You don't want to be seen with her. She's an arsonist. She burns stuff down.
Okay, you make a point. $3,500. You say you owe it, and your only defense is she only wants her money because her sister wouldn't give her any, so you're not gonna pay her back. What are you saying? She's a sucker since her sister won't give her none? Now she's a sucker, so you're not gonna pay her?
No, I didn't say she was no sucker. It's just that she wanted back.
Never a sucker.
She wanted back in the amount of time that she wanted it back.
Okay, when did
Okay.
you loan it to her, ma'am?
September
Of,
2018.
and what was the agreement?
March.
Repayment. Okay.
March.
of 19.
Is that not a substantial time?
You have a job, full-time job?
That's a hustler. It ain't never stopped. I told you she
Hustler?
still got
Okay.
crackish ways.
You got crackhead ways too.
I never
You know,
said
you got,
I didn't.
You know, you throw.
I
you
never
throw,
said I didn't.
You throw ballers at cars.
Yeah. I need
When
anger
you're driving,
management.
when
I
you're
need anger
driving all
management.
crazy and going
You
on.
ain't gonna manage. Y'all a piece of work. Well,
I'm a work in progress. I do need help.
I'm working too.
have you paid her anything? Perhaps it may be premature to expect to be repaid all of the money, but if you told her March, you made an agreement. If you didn't tell her March, you should have at least given her something by now.
Okay, well she
That
called
part.
me in February. Like, okay, the next month is March. March wasn't even here yet.
All right, ma'am.
That's it.
You have no legal defense to paying her. You're gonna have to do a little more boosting or credit card fraud or I know California is
good.
a paper town, so you work your paper game and you'll be able to pay her, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Like what?
You're the hustler, you're looking
That
at me like
part.
I'm saying something wrong. I'm hitting
ain't
it on the
said
head,
nothing
aren't I?
wrong.
She out there
You ain't-
boosting, credit card, car
Look,
accidents.
wait. You see all this
She
jewelry?
looking at me like, how you know? I know what the hustlers do. Who you think I've been? Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you. We can still be cordial. We can still coexist in the same room. Whether she still want to be my friend or not, I think this was the best way to do it instead of getting physical or verbal. But no love lost.
No, ain't no love laws, you know, but we can't never change money no more. That's for one thing. We can't
Okay.
never. Money ruins a friendship. I know that by now.
Okay, I still love you.
I still love you too.